that already had the sewer, and we got absolutely nothing for taxes.
And you're paying for it.
Nothing.
You don't, if you were to call in with an emergency, God forbid, because you had a heart attack, the volunteer fire department.
It's closer. It's closer.
I know, but they're not trained.
They are trained.
You would get it from here.
I know, and my son-in-law works right here in this building.
If you police too, ambulance services. There's a lot of stuff. Seriously, I mean, to be honest, that the city does provide.
The city, I went out to pick up my granddaughter this afternoon, and what do I see? But out of your street right there, a city policeman sitting there to try to catch people speeding.
My street?
At the end of your street.
I haven't seen police
What
in my area.
happens if you had a robbery? Wouldn't you like having that police guy?
At 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
You never know, maybe.
I would like to see a policeman in my area
You're talking
on an
about
almost daily basis to ride through.
just for the
on an
presence.
evening time.
The presence.
Well,
Yeah,
at nighttime,
yeah.
but not in the afternoon.
So that
But not-
nobody knows when that guy might show up. It discourage.
You'd mentioned traffic lights, if they put traffic lights in. What do you think about traffic light cameras?
And they're
Exactly.
planning, and they're putting one
Been there and
out
done
there
that.
in Indian Springs.
People
Private industry makes more money than
goes
the
to
city
Bristol
does.
to shop because they don't have to go to the red light camera.
Yeah, yeah.
They
And
live on
they're,
that
They found the one in Bluff City was unlawful.
and they're putting a traffic light, you know this, right out here at Indian Springs at the
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, I don't know.
Island Road.
Yeah.
That is not needed. There is never a traffic problem.
But there'll be a camera there too, I would say.
There's never a problem.
But your interest, all three of you, 2 different residences, is to be de-annexed. correct?
Exactly.
Would like to, but if we're gonna be on a street light and a fire hydrant,
And let me tell you this, how
And be
stupid.
de-annexed.
Let me show-
you know, I'm de-annexed, I don't need those things, no.
let me
The
tell you.
street light is.
Your utility bill doubled too with sewer, right?
No, we already had it.
You're-
So it was already done.
Okay.
It actually went down a little bit, I guess.
Did it? Well, that's
That's
good.
what I thought. Should be.
Well, maybe $1 or 2, but not much.
Yeah, we didn't save tax-wise.
No, and let me show you how stupid they were. If we could sell our place,
Yeah.
we can't sell it because people say, yeah, well, no.
Well, you'll end up in the county
city.
getting annexed again.
Okay, no, let me show you, no. that
You can't
gotta
sell it when you're in
vote.
the city, it's harder.
It is. We've had people say, no, I don't even want to come and look.
It's 100%
Retired,
John,
listen,
it is.
retired people don't want to pay city taxes.
There's no advantage.
There's no advantage. Okay, like I
Police,
said,
fire, emergency, retirees.
John, if you need to go,
We need-
I can get some questions answered. Or
Okay, I just wanted to be here
Well, let me
because she
tell
was
you.
claiming, look, I'd like to be here
They
till 7
skip-
o'clock if that's what you need.
they skip these houses.
I don't have all the
told you
answers
about.
for you, but at least I'll listen.
They skip the houses on
Appreciate you being here,
Faulkner
John,
Road.
as
Yeah.
opposed to everybody else that left.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
yeah,
fine
that
with
was on
If you don't
purpose.
mind.
No, I don't mind at all, John. I'm glad. I just don't want to see
It was on purpose,
I
they
love
didn't. But anyway, they skipped.
You talking about the
these houses.
newspaper? The
No,
the time being wrong?
No, I
they
think-
probably had them to publish it wrong.
I'm sure. Well, I got here at 3:30.
Conspiracy theories.
No, listen.
Really do.
No, I got here at 3:30. I got here at
I'm
3:30.
sorry, but that's not
John,
really the case.
I got here at 3:30, and some of the other employees did come early,
Yeah.
and they were saying, well, they got it wrong, so we really only have to be here to answer questions 30 minutes. They said from 5:30 to 6, and we're out of here. One of them was the deputy chief, and the other one was the city guy that just left. So, I mean, sorry. Oh,
Well, as I mentioned,
anyway,
how they piecemealed, how they took skips and houses.
sure.
Okay, then they started with us, and across the street, across Fall Creek up there, there's 2 houses up on the hill.
Way up, 200 yards off.
Yeah.
Well, good, that's.
They annexed both of those houses.
Do they have
Now,
land to them? Is there a lot of land?
Well, let me tell you, I'm telling you.
Because they want
One
land
of
too for
them, the one on
development.
the left has land with it, but it's all together. The one on the right,
Yeah.
the one up on the hill, we owned that house, sold that to my daughter. The property on the front, we had
Yeah.
taken off, and we own that.
Yeah.
They did not annex it, so we can build across there, and that is not city property.
Yeah. Well,
Did you get sewer there? That's the other thing. I mean, seriously, I do know, the only thing I can tell you is that when we look at the schematics, if they're not able to get services in a location, then we have pulled back. We have asked them to pull back from annexations because we know we're never going to be able to satisfy the plan of services. So to try to be fair to customers.
The Grandview across the road down in Florida, I don't think they're in the city. I think they skipped it.
Well, no, we took the house on each side, the one closest to Fall Creek Road.
Yeah, one on the road.
And the same way over in that Woodland subdivision, the ones along the road. They took
How
everything.
about the one up the road? Box chickens.
I couldn't get anyone.
They didn't take any of that.
I couldn't
No,
get
they
anyone I
skipped
interviewed
that.
They don't have
to
services then, right?
they thought I was targeting the cherry picking thing, but there is in the public's eye, in your eye anyway, there is some cherry picking going on.
It
They're
was
skipping.
cherry picked.
That's all you
It is,
We know
but
that.
here's the thing. If they don't take those guys without the services, we don't have to pay for those services anytime soon. We can't even get a street light and some other stuff ourselves. So if they're gonna spend thousands of dollars to put sewer in Grandview, how are we gonna get anything?
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, supposedly, at least for the annexations I'm aware of over the last 12 months, because we do ask them for monthly updates to see where the annexations that have occurred and the commitments that we have made, that the city has made to neighborhoods, are they living up to
And I
the
think I
plan
saw
of service?
something said
That
they
is
cannot afford to stick to their plan. They're extending it from 5 years out to 7 or 10 or whatever it is.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, 6:15. Tell them yes, no, tell them we'll stay here till 7. Okay, thanks.
Another thing, I experienced this when I lived in Jackson. The cities like to get up to 50,000. That's some sort of thing.
Subsidy, government subsidy, just like
Government monies or whatever, so they like to get to 50,000 people. So now the city's there, that's why they're not hooting and hollering about not being able to
Getting
annex
more
as
now.
much.
And they're on.
Plus, they're behind on their service plan. Mr. McReynolds, I think, will tell you.
Can
I
I
think I saw
follow up
something.
with you on that, because that's not my understanding.
I think they extended the service plan from 5 years to 7 or 10 or
This is
something.
Rock Springs, Colonial Heights, Indian
And-
Springs.
There's, that's just for
5,000
sewer, but
residents in 3
for
years.
lights and police coverage and fire coverage, that's immediate. That's immediate. Sewer is what's expensive and it takes time and has to be planned
See, that's
out.
what they had put out Rock Springs.
But everything else
Do it for
that
us.
they've agreed to, they should be able to deliver that
Maybe just
immediately.
sewer, they're not, you know,
Sorry.
Well, see, they put city lights out to, out to Warrior Falls and to, Chase Meadows, but that's as far as they come.
Yeah.
And we had already been annexed when they put those out there.
So right now they're in Grandview?
no,
No.
Grandview's not, Grandview's in between Warriors,
Two houses.
Falls.
All they took is two
and
houses in Grandview, the two
One
right
right
on the road.
Okay.
They could get to the sewer.
I got you. Okay.
They just, as I said, came out concrete,
And there's-
started.
Can you imagine
took what was
if they
wrong,
didn't change that, if the representatives
That state.
didn't change that, what they would be doing, what a cluster it would be? I mean, really, I mean, the sad thing about this was, this was supposed to be at 4:30. Everybody thought 5:30 because the newspaper says 5:30.
Twice.
People did start trickling in at 5:30.
Yeah.
But
And then they turn around.
a few of the people that did show up also wanted to be annexed. Well, there was one couple that wanted to
Well,
be.
that was Hank Summers. I saw him out there. He's stupid.
Yeah, right.
He lives up in, I worked for him. I know. He's one of those guys that's, you know, rich and doodly. They live up there in Foxfires where they live.
I thought it was like a Republican meeting. I sat in on a little bit of it and I was like, what the heck? These guys, they play golf together. Okay,
Yeah,
never mind.
that's it. They highfalutin, you know.
I really,
Who they rub noses with, you know.
I think they should have been more, like, I came in and stood over there for a while. And finally the fire chief or something said, those guys down there are people you can talk to. I didn't know who to talk to.
Well, how this was conducted in Colonial Heights was, it was in Perkins, everything was kind of spread out, but it was not town hall, like everybody was talking, and, you know, one person would ask a question that way, but for some reason, this setting, they individualized everybody, unfortunately. I think it would have been better to have everybody together and different people speak and address their concerns.
Well, there's to be one more. Now, where is it at? It's gonna be out the Rocks, that new
Yeah.
fire station out Rocks.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the times of it? It's next Wednesday, right?
Yes, and I think that one, as of today, is 5:30.
Yeah, as of today.
But
What day is that on?
That's next
It's next
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
If it's on Wednesday, they'll push it to 4:30 because people have church concerns. That's what they said was the reason they pushed
Well,
this
that's what I
earlier.
said. That's
Also,
why
there's
they
a
chose
meeting
it.
going
But
on.
why not come
Why
early?
didn't they tell us?
Just come early anyway.
No, he was talking about another.
I mean, we could have been
Community
here.
meeting.
We could have been here at
Let me try to address the question about why this format versus the other. So I attended the Perkins one as well. Perkins was a real challenging scenario where the board members never had a chance to address any of the issues. Like for instance, I didn't have a chance to address any of the points because everything, the folks were on one side of the table, the board members were on the other side, and the mayor was in between. And the mayor was the one who ended up
In the hot seat.
fielding all the questions. And it was unfortunate because the board members, like me, wanted an opportunity to talk too. And we didn't have that. So we felt that this opportunity, which I think has worked out, a lot more people got involved.
But the person that made the decision to annex wasn't the board that way. It was the city planners, the people that y'all represent, really, right? The city planners are the one who decided who's going to get annexed.
Oh, yeah.
They plan
John
it, but we're the
John-
ones that approve the funding and approve it.
Okay.
And
John
we reject
Campbell was the
some.
one who.
Yeah, so let me just for, again, put it out on.
All right.
So 10 years ago, right, the state legislators agreed with the boundaries and so forth to do
Urban
annexation.
growth.
Urban growth. No.
Yeah, 2000.
And that was the county commissioners and the city BMA agreed to implement that. So your officials that you elected in the county.
I know, we had no,
and our
we
city.
had no choice in
Well,
That was in the year 2000.
Yeah, all that was approved, okay? And then Colonial Heights, I was working, still am, but I wasn't involved in the public service, but I was a citizen. Then Colonial Heights said to the city, wait for 10 years, we're not ready for this, wait for 10 years and don't annex. And the city said, okay.
No, they had a lawsuit, actually.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever though.
Yeah, that's how they waited.
They would have taken it early.
Anyway.
And that
the
came from a
bottom-
came from a Nashville lawyer.
Well, the bottom line was there was an annexation for 10 years while other cities in the state annexed. Okay, so all of a sudden when that was lifted, then the city moved to start annexing. Because, and I know no one wants to hear this, but our city is in competition with other cities for the
But
same
we don't
thing.
want to be in competition with
Wait,
them.
well, let me just say this, okay? This is a great point, and I'm glad we're having this discussion. And I appreciate your views on this. Because I'm trying to wrestle with this myself as a citizen. If our current city services or county services cost X amount of money right now for the things that you like and you want, right? All of us. Every year, those costs go up because of inflation. If the city cannot, or the county cannot find a way to raise revenues to match those services, the cost for those increasing services, the current ones that we provide every year, that's going to be a problem, right?
But what services do I want?
Well, you don't want any services out there?
If I
Yeah,
was
they
in
were
the
fine.
county, I was fine with, I mean, I had everything I needed.
So no services, you don't need any services ever.
Just be the annexed, right?
Seriously,
anyway.
what do I need?
Okay, so let me just finish this. You don't need it until you call for rescue.
I'm telling you, we have had it,
And that's not important?
we've had that when we were in the
have the
county.
county.
We have the county
But
services.
You guys, I mean,
I've
We don't know,
had
I guess we never experienced it, so how do we know?
We've had them. My parents lived in the
I know
county.
that the volunteer fire
They had
department,
services.
rescue squad, first responders are well trained. Hack Clink was a fire chief in Sullivan Gardens from 1974 to 2006 when he passed away, and he made sure that his crews were trained. That's in Sullivan Gardens. I don't know what it's like here, but under the right fire chief, they're
what
people.
happens when your septic tanks go haywire?
You have them pumped.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
them pumped, and you pay to
Roto-Rooter.
do
Then
it.
you
We've
put in
done
a new
that.
line.
Roto-Rooter,
We've
it's
done
it's
that.
cheaper.
When we lived in
You know,
the
and
county.
then here's the other thing that I see too, I'm just
You
sharing
know,
with
we
you.
have a service, water and sewer, we pay for it.
Right, right.
You had that
Taxes
before you were
and-
annexed too.
Yeah.
We
Taxes
paid
and
for
a monthly
we
fee.
paid for garbage pickup. We were fine. And we wasn't paying $130 a month.
If we surveyed the county for those that have been annexed, what percentage do you think would come back and say, I'm glad I'm annexed?
Not me.
I know, not you, but
30%.
Hey, let me tell you something else they've done. In ours, it's a circular street.
Yeah.
Warrior Falls, you know, I mean, not Warrior Falls, Rosemary Valley. Where's Maryville?
But it ends in a
Okay.
cul-de-sac, or it's
It's just a,
Goes
it's
in
just a
around
little
and back out,
circle.
just
Okay.
Little
7 or 8
circle,
units in
13
there.
houses. The garbage, the city garbage truck now comes in there to pick up garbage. They have ruined. A month or two ago, somebody had put a can of green paint in their garbage, and it got picked up. It's all around our street now.
Wow. Yeah.
Plus every time it comes
So-
through there, it jumps mud and all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
You'll do the recycle thing too, the blue lit Kingsport?
yeah,
Yeah,
I think that
yeah.
could be done every other week.
We were taking theirs to recycle, you know, we did it ourselves, we didn't need that. We didn't need any of it. I hate those dirty garbage cans anyway.
Yeah.
We had garbage pickup before we were annexed.
And it was cheaper.
But-
It's cheaper, right?
Yeah,
When
but
you go
I
through
paid for it, I paid for it, but I did
When I was
not
in-
have a garbage can.
When I was in Green County, we paid
In
like
my
$40 a
house.
month, if that.
Can you imagine what would happen though if the county refused to pay city taxes and the city people refused to pay county taxes? What do you think would happen to our community?
I don't know, but that was a county before it was a city.
One thing I know, everybody learned to live on what they got, if not some more.
Exactly. They have to live on a budget like we do, as being retired, living on Social Security. Our city of Kingsport does not live on a budget.
We already had a discussion.
Yeah.
Do you
We,
think-
I know they don't. You know why they built that big stadium? They just had to add on to the stadium and all.
Big.
Because Johnson City has a nice big one. They could,
They're in
they had to,
competition.
they had to have as good as,
Do you really believe that?
I really believe
I
that.
voted for that, and I'll tell you why I voted for it. There's a lot more to it than that, man. I voted for it for two reasons, right? That stadium packs 85,000 citizens a year. It hasn't been improved in 75 years. For all the disabled people to go through there, and it's not just for football. Football is 40,000 of the 85,000. It's used 50 days a year. And it doesn't comply with any of the American Disabilities Act. And so when there's someone with a heart attack, and that's happened, we can't get the responders in quick enough, okay, to save them. So that's one thing. The second thing is, so we felt that as a public site facility, the city is liable to support its citizens who use popular city assets. Okay, so that was number one, improve that. Number two was if you believe in the city business that says we are competing for growth as a city with other cities in the region for people and businesses to come to our city to live and to work. And we have to grow as any other business has to grow or it dies. And so by upgrading and investing more money into the stadium, and making it ADA compliant, and making it a venue where we can attract concerts, outdoor public works opportunities, more track meets, more football meets, and so forth to help our existing businesses by bringing people to our town to spend money at our retail shops, at our restaurants, and our hotels. We used that investment as a way to spur on economic development. So, and I looked at the numbers, and I voted for those numbers.
It helps FunFest too, but
So anyway,
Well-
so there's all I'm trying to say is that I understand the perception, but there was a whole lot more thinking that went into those types of decisions.
Well, I know it ended up costing many more $1 million than what it should have started out costing.
Everything.
Now,
And the
it was
tickets were-
okay,
tickets were
it's
20 bucks
okay to make it handicap accessible. It was okay to do some upgrading. Have you seen it?
oh yeah,
That scoreboard.
so high too.
I went Friday night just so I could see what my taxes were paying.
Can I tell you something?
That big scoreboard, I bet you half of the colleges in the U.S. do not have a scoreboard like
Can
that,
I tell you that was privately donated?
okay?
$400,000 by Pal Barker.
Thank you, pal. Good guy.
Okay. And secondly, about the seats up top.
Yeah.
The
press
people-
box.
No, the seats. There was an expansion at the top.
I know. So
Okay.
you put clear.
Those, what the city taxpayer paid for was the renovation to make it ADA compliant. That was $2.7 million, okay? The other $2 million for the the second rafters up there, the seats, the people who bought those tickets and those seats, They're paying for that.
Yeah, but how many years is it gonna take to pay for it?
We got a 20-year bond, so we got 20 years to pay it back. So I'm just asking for, just to put it on the table that there's more